part of the Clover Community leadership team. I'm very excited to have an opportunity to present to you all, this group in particular, that there are a lot of you in this room who interact with our merchants and hear their pain when it comes to certain processes, PCI, leasing, funding. We hear it, we know it. We are definitely, that's what we're looking at. Clover Community consists of change-oriented individuals from both Clover and First Data, spanning each of the different touch points of the Clover merchant lifecycle. The primary objective of the Clover Community program is to create a culture which lives and breathes client first, and we do that by pursuing a relentless focus on making the merchant experience a key differentiator between First Data and our competition. So far, the program was conceptualized late last year and put into effect earlier this year. So it's been a little over half a year, and we've already accomplished a lot. We've established 9 work streams. Again, each of those are aligned with those merchant lifecycle touch points. So those include everything from discovery and interest to boarding, to processing, to service and support, and every step in between. 4 of those work streams in particular we've identified as ones that we want to focus on. There's some extra cross-functional needs there. So those are sales, installation, activation, merchant processing, and service and support. Each of these groups has established KPIs, key performance indicators. Those KPIs we use to define a baseline in order to measure the overall health of each, right? So we have those, and then ultimately during the second half of this year and hopefully beyond, the goal is to use those KPIs, and hopefully I can come back here in the future and show that these are all trending positively. That's really the goal. If we can go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Not going to go over too much here, just want to point your attention to the far right column. This is our phase 3, which is where we are today. We've done a lot of discovery, a lot of planning over the last several months. Several of the teams are now building business cases, seeking senior level approvals, getting technology projects in. We're active, we're moving. We want to fix these problems as soon as possible. Next slide, please. So these are those 4 in-focus work streams. You can see the sales, installation, and activation work streams cover mainly communication-related priorities. These are the priorities for each of the 4. Merchant processing, again, I mentioned some of those pain points that you all are of which you were all keenly aware. PCI, authorization, settlement, funding, leasing. Hopefully these are all hitting nerves. You guys are all nodding. And then in the service and support space, we're still working on identifying the specific priorities, but we're focusing on product development initiatives, both internal and also merchant facing, as well as operations specific process enhancements. Next slide, please. So you can tell already this is a very broad initiative. It's very large. There's a lot of moving pieces. It's a multi-year effort. We wanted to make sure that while there's a lot of discovery planning going on, that we were still making sure, doing our due diligence to identify quick wins. So there's a number of them here. I'll cover a couple on the subsequent slides, but these are mostly going to be, for example, emails that we can change, which I'll touch on in a moment, and also initiatives that we might identify that were already in flight, but now we can fold them under within the Clover Community purview, within the scope, which will help increase their optics and obviously get the word out, since this is a critical initiative for the firm. Just a couple of quick wins to spotlight here very quickly. One, this is a dispute activity summary. Merchants are receiving $150,000 a month, are sent out. As I said earlier today, picture's worth 1,000 words. You can see your email on the left, the original, is it's all content-based, the right content is there, but it's hard to make it out. There's no colors, there's no call to actions. It isn't clear what the merchant needs to do when they have chargebacks. It just isn't clear. The new email, you can see a lot more color, call to action. Everything I said was not here is here. Very clear steps down below. Next slide. So this is call center case classifications. These have recently been enhanced. One of the key positive impacts after doing this, and this is rolled out now to 100% of folks, one of the key positive impacts here is the consistent use of terminology, the consistent use. So as Service 360 tickets are created, they have sometimes different category, I guess, classifications between each. This helped to make that consistent. Next slide. What's next? So I mentioned a little bit earlier, Clover Community is a huge initiative. We've spent a lot of time over the last several months planning, discovery. We're now moving full stop into our implementation phase. We're hoping to leverage those KPIs that I mentioned earlier to get to measure the health, see positive trends in each of these touch points. And then also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Clover Community is just one part of a broader effort to really identify what our merchants are saying about us. I meant to mention earlier, I didn't. We are a whole bunch of information is feeding into and informing what these priorities are, what we're working on, the opportunities, NPS data, JD Power data as well. We want to be able to basically truly understand and gain an empathy for what our merchants are saying. Of course, a lot of folks in this room know exactly what they're saying. That's pretty much it for my comments. Mary, I don't know if you wanted to add anything.